It was taking us about 210 minutes to turn around a bed.
When I talk about the volumes of paper, we had 3 and 4 drawer file cabinets full, and on a daily basis the stacks could be 2 or 3, 4 or 5 inches high.
Day to day in operations, I don't know how my clerks and my nurses would do patient flow without the TeleTracking system.
It was called Circling to Land, based on the idea that all of the patients were circling, trying to find a bed in our hospital. Prior to that retreat, the capacity and throughput was seen as more primarily an ED problem.
We recognized that the crowding in the emergency department was often due to our inability to flow patients through the system.
We started doing 15 to 1,600 patients a day in patient transport. So it was just obvious that we couldn't continue doing that on a manual with a manual process.
We did not have enough employees in environmental services, and we didn't have them timed appropriately.
This is really the backbone of patient care. Moving patients quickly through the system provides a much safer environment for patients.
We have been able to reduce our ED hold hours about 50%.
It was common to see 750 minutes per month of OR hold time, and now we've virtually eliminated that.
Because we have the picture of the whole facility, we're able to place the patient in the most appropriate clinical unit.
We have been able to show, your discharges by hour for EVS, which has resulted in EVS getting more staffing during the peak times.
The most tremendous improvement we've seen in patient satisfaction related to our patient flow redesigns came in our emergency department. We were actually in the 30th percentile prior to implementation of automation and our process redesigns, and we now are in the 90th percentile.
We set a time that in 120 minutes from bed request to actually occupying the bed would be 120 minutes, 90% of the time. We were starting at 8% and 18%. So we did get up to close to 50%.
It was taking us about 210 minutes to turn around a bed. Once we implemented, we were able to improve that to about 60 minutes.
We've taken our housekeeping turn time, and we have now reached our target of 60 minutes in all of our facilities.
We only gained 2 minutes, but then when we started to think about it, and at the time doing 1,600 transports a day, that was now 3,200 minutes, and you're actually talking about FTEs.
The reports have been incredible. You can't improve what you can't measure.
All of our hospital is on one particular enterprise system with very few niche systems, and one of them is TeleTracking. So it's vital that those two communicate for me, because TeleTracking, for one thing, is incredibly better at reporting than my enterprise system.
Anecdotal information is okay, but data is where it's at.
One of the ways that we used TeleTracking data was to determine the bed aggregation, the patient aggregation for our new East Tower building.
In the past, we had peaks and valleys where we didn't have enough people to get the work done, and then we had a slow time where people sat around and did crossword puzzles or homework or whatever. We now have the people in the hospital when the work is there to be done.
One of the selling points was that we couldn't find another vendor who could provide patient transport, bed cleaning, patient placement, and a transfer center. And so TeleTracking was the best of breed choice, even though we don't tend to do best of breed, to have those timestamps and be able to pull the data from those timestamps, because it's the data that is the power for making change.
We've been able to accommodate continuing admission growth, which we were, not going to be able to accommodate prior to our redesign and implementation of technology.
Our experience with TeleTracking has been that as we've improved patient flow, of course, that has improved patient satisfaction.
Our ED physicians are happier because patients are moving more quickly out of the emergency department. Our physicians are happier on the unit because we actually use our technology to help us get patients to the right place.
surgeries are not being canceled, and we have physicians who now can get their patients, whether it be a direct admit or a transfer from another facility, into a higher level of care much quicker.
We've been able to accommodate 500 additional admissions for a $1.5 million net revenue increase.
Open table times are a cost to the hospital. We have to keep our equipment full at all times. Using an automated system has given us the ability to be timely in our response to these areas.
And for us, patient care is what we're all about, and this technology allows us to be there for that.